And can you talk a bit how to touch those places that are hard for us to see or touch?
Well, you know, the first thing you have is us. And we see. Why? Because we're empty. And we feel it. And if someone tells you, you just have to be open. You know, and then you can connect. But you have to be very present in your body. The thing that happens with humans is we spend all of our lives disconnecting. So we have this habit of just leaving. Oh, I feel something in my body. I go. So it's just this constant presence. And it's not that we're focused on stress. We're not focused on moving emotion. We're focused on our consciousness, expanding our consciousness. But when you're completely conscious, you're very present with your body. You're in your house. And when you're there, emotions are very easy to connect with. But just see the triggers that make you disconnect. And come back, come back, come back. You know, people say to me, oh, I can't connect with my emotions. But it's not true. Everyone can connect with their emotions. All you have to have is the willingness, the intention. And some people are very emotional. And some people have learnt not to be emotional. But if you're there, you'll connect. It's impossible not to. I've seen people so disconnected. But once the tap opens, then they're connected. So don't keep reaffirming, I can't connect. I can't connect. Just be open. Yeah, I will connect. And it's such a liberation to connect. Until you start moving, you don't realize it's such a liberation to have that capacity to connect with what you feel. And this is how humans connect. That's our intimacy. That's our vulnerability. That's the language of the heart. Emotion. And it's vital that we have that connection so we can connect with each other. So we can have compassion for each other, empathy for each other, because we're all the same. We're all little children looking for love. Or no? Sure. Sure.
These last days, I have been seeing a fear. When I was a child, I was fatter. I was seeing the fear of going back to be that with food and certain things. Can you talk about walking to towards those insecurities?
If you get fat here, it's a miracle. You have to work really hard. You know, it's just a thought. And it's attached to your image. And that fear of rejection. And when you feel that, just connect with it. Because it's not a reality. You know, 80%, 90% of the female population has that circle, no? Okay, we live with it. Okay, so just be present and just laugh at it. It's not real. And here it's menace. It's the opposite. You're eating healthy, if anything, you're going to lose weight. So you can see what a fantasy it is. But it's all involved in your image. My value is in my image, how people see me. And that has to transform. It has to transform. My importance, my self-love, my consciousness, that's what's important. Not how everyone else sees me. So start letting go of your image.
Can you talk a bit more about the roaring silence?
You know, the thing is, when we connect with that internal silence, it's so loud and so potent that it becomes the most important thing. And everything external becomes distant. Even though it's there, the silence is louder. And when you can sit in that space, you start to witness your human experience. You start to witness your dramas. You know, all the things you worry about, all the judgments you have, all of your attachments. And you sit in the silence and you start to see the lunacy of the mind. Because the mind's crazy. It's just constantly looping. It's in a loop. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Same thoughts, same ideas, same fears. You know, every day. Every day. And when you can sit in consciousness, you can stop being involved. Stop getting so involved. And that's why it's so important to move our emotions. Because if we don't move our emotions, these little hooks, they keep catching us, no? But when the emotion's gone, when the charge is gone, it just becomes like a voice. And it's not important. It's like if you break up in a relationship, and you're so, oh, I'm so upset and so sad, and what did I do wrong? Look what they did to me. And it goes on and on and on. And then you start listening to some song over and over and over, and oh, my song, our song, da, da, da. At some point, the song becomes unimportant, no? Why? Because the emotion's gone. You've moved into something else. And the head's like that. It repeats and repeats and repeats. But once the emotion's gone, there's no hook. And that's to witness. I sit in the silence and I witness. I witness the mind. And it's no longer my puppeteer. I'm just here, sitting in that silence. And you all know what that is. That's why you came here. It might not be roaring yet, but it will roar. And you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. In this moment, this is roaring. Yeah, but you'll see. And you see when I talk about it, how my energy expands, that's the roaring silence. And it moves into everything. It's like walking through water.
These days I have been expressing many times. And the teachers have been reflecting to try to go deeper. And I want to ask you about that, how to go deeper.
They say that because they don't know what else to say. Go deeper. So I imagine what they're saying is you're repeating the same thing, no? And you're not really connecting. It's like it's coming from the surface. And sometimes it's good to just stop and really use the facet and really connect with the depth of your being. Because quite often, everything that we're expressing is superficial. Like you imagine, there's my root stress. Like it's in the foundation of my house. And because of that root stress, I keep building the same things on top, no? And it gets to the point where the construction's so unstable because I've kept building on the same crack. And often, we're so focused on the top floor, we're not connecting with the principal break. Because that principal break is deep. It's so deep and so profound that it created fear. And fear's an illusion. It doesn't exist. The only thing real is the love. But in order to have the human experience, we have to break it. And this is what it is. It's not about focusing on this or that or this insecurity or that insecurity. It's about really getting to the guts of it. And that's what they mean. Go deeper. Go deeper. Más profundo. Close your eyes. Think a facet. You're in a drama.
It's hard for me to be with my partner when she's stressed. She's a baby student, and he's not patient with her. She's a student. And it happens that I feel rejection. I get bored listening too much head stress. So I always push her to do all the steps of the system. And she tells me that she needs more loving and romantic company. And in a stress situation, that doesn't happen. Like to hug her, oh, what a problem, your child, your work. So I invite her to look at everything from the system, and she feels I get distant, she gets angry, and really I get distant. And we are in that loop. And I would love to be with her, but I don't have tolerance for that.
I can answer that. Well, I think the first thing you need to appreciate is that she's trying to grow. She's not working against you. And she's supporting you. And you need to be just present with her. To have a partner that's focused on growth, that's open, but's a baby, what does she need? She needs love. So what inhibits you from giving love to her? What? An idea in your head, a superiority. You need to be able to just be present. You need to talk to Satya. She can teach you how to sleep with your eyes open. Like this. Because all she wants is that you listen to her. And why does it affect you? Because it's an aspect of you. It's an aspect of you that judges. But to have a partner that wants to grow, that supports you, you have to move your own stress. When you go back, you'll be better. You'll be better, don't worry. You teach him, Satya, yeah? With the mouth closed, though, no? It's an art. Oh, I can't do it.
I don't know how is the process of creation. But have been incredible, this process. I want to know. Can you talk about how it works, creation?
You know, when you're open to receive, everything comes. And the irony is when you're focused on consciousness, and that's the highest point, the abundance comes. It always comes. Because there's no expectation. And there's no attachment. You know, when you need something and you're focused on it and you're working and you push, it's a different energy. But when you're just open and you're choosing for the highest point, you're choosing for God, everything falls into place. So it's perfect. Good. It should be like that. It should be like that.
But I want to ask you that. Can you talk with the difference from educate, teach, from a place of non-exigence?
You know, the thing is, things have to come from joy. And this is the sad thing. You know, children don't experience childhood. There's so much pressure all the time to be the best, to succeed. They're never taught to be happy. And we teach them that. To win is to be happy. Because we were taught the same thing. And it's just a shift in perception. Because empowerment has to come from joy. But joy of self, joy of life, the joy of being, the capacity to give. And this is the new focus. Because the old focus is so antique. And we've created a society where everyone's overly qualified. And basically, there's no disponibility for them. You know, and they're not joyful. Everything has to change. But you have to change. And the minute you change, you'll teach something new to the children. But there's nothing wrong. You know, we were all taught the same thing. Even if we weren't conscious of it. My parents did everything possible to keep my mind open, to give me many possibilities, not to influence me. But I copied them. So really, when the parents transform, when the educative system transforms, everything will start to transform. But for now, it is what it is. And it's becoming more exigent now. Much, much more.
I always put myself in a place of being rejected in the friendships, in the loving relationships at work. And I cannot see something different to that place of being rejected. See, if it's my comfort zone. I put myself here and I don't know where to go.
You have to start loving you. You're looking externally. And you've got to stop worrying because you're anticipating a rejection. So you're walking on eggs so that people like you, people approve of you. And that has to change. You have to love you. You have to appreciate you. What other people think's not important. And once you get to that point, everything opens. The minute you love yourself, the mirror reflects that. And if it doesn't, you don't care. And you have to stop taking things personally. Because everyone's battling with their own demons. Everyone's in the same boat. But everyone takes everything personally. Oh, they don't love me. They don't love me. They don't appreciate me. They're rejecting me. They're rejecting themselves. Whatever people do is talking about them, not about you. So you have to love you. You have to appreciate you. You have to hold your own hand. You have to buy your own flowers. Yeah? You have to do all that. Yeah? And that's why you're here. How amazing you are. You're here. How old are you? Yeah, look. And you look 18. So you're not getting so much stress with all the rejection. No, baby face.
I find myself focusing in what is missing. I put objectives and I achieve, but always something missing, and from there something else. My question is how to change that lack energy to abundance energy.
You're doing that now through expanding your consciousness. Stop focusing on what you don't want and just open. Open to the magic, and it will come. It's about an opening. What's happening with him is not his focus. It's just happening. But when there's intensity or an expectation, that energy doesn't allow anything to move. That worry, it blocks everything. So just let go. Let go.
I'm working with the lost and I feel so much sadness. And then I said no, because I was seeing people here dancing. I say, I have to stop being sad and I have to also enjoy this. That's why I came, actually. I say, the next 40 years I want to enjoy. And I wonder how to do to enjoy too, and to transform the sadness and the pain.
Well, you've got to let everything go. And then you'll find the joy. You're still mourning because you've never allowed yourself to feel. Now you will. And you're unifying a lot. You're sensitive. Everything's moving everything. So everything's amplified. And it's okay. It's meant to be like that. Until it's not.
Come visit our webpage for books, movies, and our wonderful retreat centers. Isha's simple yet powerful system is transforming lives around the world.